Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of What Do You Need to Know to Live in Costa Rica? Mr. Bailey, today's topic is...
Patrick, if you're serious about moving to Costa Rica, do not explore like a tourist.
Hi everyone, I am Patrick Jager, joined as always by my good friend and business partner, Aaron Bailey. Hello, Mr. Bailey.
Pura Vida, Patrick. I'm excited about this topic.
I am too. It's a kind of controversial, you put quite the statement out. If you're serious about moving, don't explore like a tourist. I'm
He always
stoked to
puts
see
these
where
things
this
on
one
me.
goes.
He always puts this on me, and yeah, we discussed this like 30 seconds before I hit record. Goodness gracious! And you wrote this
I
outline,
mean,
so
but I would have
this is both of
softened it.
us.
No, actually, I wouldn't. It is both of it.
This
It
is
is
both of
both
us.
of it.
So this topic comes out of our work with a number of families recently who we've helped do scouting trips for, set itineraries for, and the question is always, how much vacation do you get versus how much daily life, like a glimpse into daily life, do you get? And we have, I think, some strong opinions on this.
I think
If
we
you're
do. But
serious
before we
about
go down
moving,
too far down the road, I'm
okay,
gonna
Patrick,
twist us a
yes.
little just to say, if you like this, before we get too far into this, if you
Yes.
like this topic, if you like our videos, if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button, help us share these. We're growing the community. It's a niche community, obviously. These are people that are interested in Costa Rica and possibly moving here. So we understand we're never going to be this massive channel, but we really want an engaged channel. So hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, get part of the conversation. Who knows, maybe your question will become one of our monthly response questions from one of these videos. But segue over, why do we have a challenge as business owners with people that want to come and just play tourist?
Yeah. I think so often people think that moving to Costa Rica is vacation 24/7, 365. And it's simply not the case. Coming here on vacation for a week or two and staying in a resort, God forbid, an all-inclusive. Don't do that. No, if you're a tourist, don't stay in an all-inclusive in Costa Rica. But if you're coming to Costa Rica to scout out, is Costa Rica the right place for me? We understand you want to get a little bit of vacation and you want to rest and you want to truly settle into Pura Vida, into Costa Rica. But you still need to be deliberate about how you go about structuring that trip. So that's our general philosophy in our scouting itinerary service. We're pretty adamant about it. That this
Yeah,
is
and it's
a unique
because
approach.
yeah, it's because if you go the other direction and you're just sitting by a pool and someone's bringing you a drink, unless that actually is how you live your life, then you are being somewhat fictitious. We kind of feel the same thing about group tours. There are
Yes.
relocation tour packages and seminars you can do, and in all due respect to them, I mean, some of these people are friends, but the challenge, even with going on a group tour or going to a seminar, is are you really seeing your possibility? You're seeing a group, but you're going to a
Yeah.
restaurant as a group. You're going to something as a group. It's no different than if you're on a tour. Like we were in Hong Kong, and our tour had us go to the Jade Market. I didn't want to go to the Jade Market, but the whole group went to the Jade Market, and that's what we don't like about this. Like, you want to live here. What is your thing? So we really do, and we'll talk more about how our service works, but our service is really geared on helping you think through the day to day. Aaron, you brought up to me recently a really good adage that you had about, weekday versus weekend. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think, treat a scouting trip like you would live here. Spend Monday through Friday working if you can. If you're still of working age and you want to move to Costa Rica and work remotely, then treat Monday through Friday like you're working. Maybe not full days. Take half days, or work a few hours. See how that goes for you. But the other aspect of work is explore the town that we have you go to, or the town that you're in. Treat it like your daily life that you would live there. We'll talk about this in a second, but go into the shops, meet, the people that you would be meeting on a daily basis if you lived there. And then the magic of Costa Rica is that the weekends are so amazing for day trips and exploring the region. I am in San Jose. I get my car on a Saturday morning and I drive to Coffee Region and I come back. It's a long day, but it's amazing. It's it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive. But as you're doing that in Costa Rica, treat that weekend like you would if you lived here. What would you do?
Yeah.
Would you go to the beach? Great, go to the beach. Would you explore the region? Go explore the region.
Go on a big bike ride? Go on a big bike ride.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's dive into the different things that we really suggest people do, because now people are like, great, what does that mean? So let's start with the first, which is housing.
Yes.
Our service would almost never recommend someone stay at a hotel or even a bed and breakfast. Airbnb is where we would really put people, or some other type of rental service. Why? Because then you have to go to the grocery store and get supplies. You have to leave your house to do anything. You're not just walking down to the concierge and saying, how do I do my thing? Or my coffee pot's not working in my room. It forces you to see. It also, the neat thing about that is it forces you to see neighborhoods. Most Airbnbs are just in normal neighborhoods. They're not going to be in some nice, fancy, gated community. You can get those, especially if you're at Los Sueños, you can get Airbnbs within Los Sueños. But
Sure.
If you are in a normal town, your Airbnb is going to be in the normal town. One thing we did is I had come for several scouting trips and already started to work with a realtor and figure out where we wanted to live. And I actually found Airbnbs that were also for sale as houses. And there were two in particular. You stayed with us at one night, I remember.
One of them,
we were in Naranjo, which is up by...
I caught COVID from you that trip.
I wasn't going to tell anybody that. I wasn't going to tell you. I did. Sorry.
Yes.
But it was the photos were beautiful. So as a real estate thing, I'm like, this is a gorgeous house. And I had gone and looked at it as a real estate house first. And then when I saw it was on Airbnb, I said, ooh, let's stay there. It's almost like try it before you buy it. And by doing that, not only did I realize I didn't like the neighborhood, I definitely didn't like the house because the house needed a lot of work. And you don't know that until you explore an area. So housing, stay local. Speaking of local, what's our next?
Oftentimes, Airbnbs are going to be slightly cheaper than hotels anyway. So, and you're going to have a kitchen to cook. You're going to have, you can still go out to dinner, but you've got room to cook. So, all right. Speaking of shopping, we think it's really important for you to shop like you're a local. So go to the farmers markets on the weekends, usually Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Go into the local supermarket. Patrick is crazy about this. I'm not so much, but go into the hardware store. Like when
I love the hardware store.
If your toilet breaks and you know how to fix it, go into the hardware store and see what you can buy. Just walk up and down the aisles. He's crazy, people. But do your shopping. Figure out where the bank is. And this doesn't take a lot of time, right? Like you can meander through town, walk everywhere, and just kind of mentally note, like, what would my life be like if on a Wednesday afternoon I had to stop by the bank, pick up some groceries, and pick up the kids from school.
Go to the pharmacy.
Yeah, pharmacy, exactly. So those are all really important things that we think in terms of shopping that you should check out.
Couple others that I would add to that. If you are into natural food or natural health, find the natural health store in town and definitely know where those are. And most towns will have more than one, so you can see your options. Another one is like if you like specialty meats, know where the carniceria is. If you have a special hobby or interest, make sure you know where that is. The gym. If you go to the gym,
Yeah.
you're going to move somewhere. You're going to want to make sure you like the gym. So in my town of Atenas, we have probably 6 gyms. So you go and you scout the gyms and see which one you like. Do they
Yeah.
have a public pool? Do they have a public gym? What are the other public resources they do? What's the park like at night? Nothing says Costa Rica like hanging out and getting an ice cream and walking in the park at night. So do that.
Yeah.
Know your town.
If you have dogs specifically, but go to where other dog owners are. You might not have your dog on this trip, but go and see what that's like. Walk by the vet, by the pet store, see what that's like. The doctor's
Yep.
office. Yeah. What about dining, Patrick? How would you approach
Say,
that if you were in an Airbnb, cooking sometimes,
mhm.
but still wanting to eat out?
We don't have the same kind of rating system. There's no Yelp here of like what's the
Yeah.
best restaurant. So you should explore online and see what people see. But if you're a night eater, you're an 8 o'clock night eater, drive around town at 7:30 at night. Not big towns. See where people are. Like I found a restaurant recently. It was an old honky tonk on the outside of my town. It was like a karaoke bar, and they just totally redid it into this really cool like concert hub. But they have really good food, and we were like, I don't know if I want
Cool.
to go there. It's packed every night at dinner time. So we're like, something must be good here. So we stopped. We were the only gringos. Everybody kind of looked at us like, that's cool that you're here. We go there all the time now because just it's cool and fun. So
I want to
drive
go.
around even then and see what people see. Like I remember the first time I came to Atenas, I went to a restaurant that someone had recommended, and I didn't really like it. But as I was leaving, drove down the street, and there were 2 other restaurants, and I was like, oh, mental note. So start to ask other people, hey, I really like Mexican food. Where do I go? I really like this. I really like that. But like everything, explore and find.
Speaking of exploring, Patrick, that was Monday through Friday, the daily rhythm of living in a town in Costa Rica. Weekends, we've already touched on this a little bit, but come Friday evening or Saturday morning, maybe you move out of your Airbnb and go somewhere else, a 2 hour drive from there, or
Yep.
maybe you keep your Airbnb and go on a pretty long day trip. I think you and I both really love to just hop in the car and randomly wander and find our way into wherever. We did that when we went to Nicoya Peninsula. We've done that when we've gone other places. Just randomly wander and see what the surrounding region looks like, because that's kind of going to be where you're living if you're living in that specific town.
Yeah, exactly. And you might decide, by the way, parenthetically, you might decide that you know that the road down to the beaches is going to be slammed on weekends. So you want to spend your exploring days Tuesday, Wednesday. That's great. We're not saying that you have
Sure.
to do everything Saturday, Sunday. But
Yep.
what we're saying is dedicate time for normal life and dedicate time to enjoying and exploring like you would any other time. I would agree. Like, would I go today? Well, first of all, today the freeway down to the beach is closed because there's a bike race going from Jaco to San Jose. So like the 27th is closed. It might be open by now, but it was closed all morning. So there is no going down to the beach, and that means all that beach
Uh,
traffic is coming through my town, which means that it's just going to be a nightmare. So like anywhere. Same thing was true at my house in Colorado. You don't go up to the mountains on a
right.
winter morning on a Saturday at 10 thinking I'm
Right.
just going to go explore. You're going to be stuck in traffic for hours. So think
Exactly.
about where you want to go and the traffic, but it really is about finding those special moments. You've been really great, Aaron, about going to waterfalls and things that are just like known for Costa Rica, but it does take a schlep. You've got to get in your car. You got to go.
Yep.
You've got to go there purposefully. But that's what living here is.
And take an opportunity to ask your Airbnb host, where do the locals go on the weekends? Where are they exploring? There's a beautiful overlook to San Jose that's probably a 30-minute drive. I can see it from my window, but it takes quite a while to get up there. I would never know about that if I were on vacation here, but because I've talked to some friends who live here, who have lived here forever, they know all the ins and outs and the places, the fun places to go that aren't on TripAdvisor. That's how you truly see a place, and that's how you determine if you could live there full time.
Okay, so this brings us to how do you work with Your Pura Vida and what do we do? What we've just talked about is what we do. We help you think through not the, isn't this great or wasn't this a fun tour you took? But we really are all about the people that move here, we want to stay here. There's a huge statistic about the percentage of people that leave Costa Rica because they just couldn't figure it out. One of the reasons you can't figure it out is because your mind is saying, but I had such a really chill time on vacation. Would you say the same thing if you were moving to Cleveland or Vancouver? No, you really would do this exact thing. And we're saying do this here in Costa Rica. So, how it works. Once we've talked to you for the first time, we, and by we I mean Aaron, sends you a survey. And that survey is 124 points that really gets into the nitty gritty of who you are, what you're looking for, you and a family. And what we often find is you have very competing thoughts. I want the
Yeah.
beach, but I don't like heat. And I want bugs, but I don't want this. And so we don't find a place for you. We find a myriad of suggestions for you. And then we help with a scouting itinerary that allows you to explore those places. It's never a day in a place. It's, 2, 3, 4 nights in a place where you can do some wandering. But again, it's so that you can really live into that. Aaron, once they've kind of gotten to us and said we want to do this itinerary, what do we do from itinerary to membership? Like, how do we help?
Yeah, so we get on a Zoom call and we talk about what your goal is, which we already know from your survey response, but we really try to figure out, when you're coming, first of all, what season you're coming, where you're flying into. Patrick and I put our brains together and we said, okay, they should do 3 different places. They should spend, 4 days or a week in this place, a week in that place, and maybe a few days in the Central Valley coming and going so that they can sort of know what the amenities are, the shopping is in San Jose, in that area. Once we get off a phone call, Patrick and I really dive deep into each of these places. Nothing about this is a stock itinerary. We really
Stock
craft
tour.
this around, this is you, your family, your wants, your needs, and your dreams. And we put together an itinerary of the places that we want to go to, and in each place where we think you should go. Is yoga important? Okay, go into that yoga studio. If you want to repair your own toilet like Patrick, go into the hardware store and shop there. Do all of those things that we really think you should do when you're living in a place. So we build
Can I
out
just jump
a
in real
really
quick?
amazing. Yep, go ahead.
I was just to say, one of the ones I'm actually really impressed with is when someone has a very specific need or want, like a house of worship, whatever your religion, or a specific need for their child. We really want to make sure we actually help make those introductions so that you can get to that point. Nothing is worse than saying, "Oh yeah, I see they have a blank," but if you don't go in,
Right.
who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and then you get on a plane and come here and do that trip, and you're chugging along, going through that trip, and you've got access to us via email and a Zoom call if you need, or my WhatsApp, because we're going to support you through that itinerary. And then once you're done, and also, by the way, if you're coming through one of our towns, we would love to meet you for coffee. I love
Absolutely.
meeting people that we work with. Once you're back home, wherever home is, we would love to schedule a debrief, a 30-minute Zoom call to talk through what did you like, what did you not like, is Costa Rica the right place, and what are the next steps from there? But we're with you throughout the entire process. We're not going to just hand you an itinerary and say, go ahead, do it.
Yeah, and I think that right there is the thing. We do not do for you. We are not your concierge service. You want to live here, figure it out. but we do give
Yep.
you all the data you need to be able to figure it out, and we will handhold you to the most we can. Our ultimate goal is to get you excited to move here and then join Your Pura Vida as a member, where we can help you just then live your day-to-day life. But you're never going to move here if you don't first see how you can live here
Right.
and let the light bulb click. It is not for everybody. We've made it very clear in many videos. This is not a utopia. It is like anywhere you should live. There's highs, there's lows, there's real annoyances, and there's real elation. But you're never going to get that being a tourist. Reach out to us, Ola at Your Pura Vida, or better yet, we'll put a link at the bottom of this video where you can actually just schedule your first call with us. It's a 20-minute call. We want to hear your story, and then we'll take it from there. If you're like, yeah, this is great, right away we'll send you, Aaron, we'll send you the survey so we can get going. But it's all on you now. If you want to get in touch with us, click the link for the schedule down in the comments. Reach out to us at ola@yourpuravida.com. You can also, of course, find everything about us at yourpuravida.com/links. That's a link to our great curated Instagram account, all of our vlogs, all of our blogs, our website itself. And as we've said, respond here in the comments. When you tell us you are confused about something or want more information, that's where we stem and give new videos. So this is our community, your community. Reach out and let us know.
Yeah.
Until our next video, don't act like a tourist, and Pura Vida.
Pura Vida.